broadcasting from deep within the StreamYard studios, from high atop the KPC Music Corporate Tower in the southwest desert town of Kanab, Utah. This is Dolorem Vox, and now your host, Kelly Chambers.
Welcome to Dolorem Vox, the voice of pain, the sound of truth, and the place where the questions get loud when the answers are just too quiet. I'm your host, Kelly Chambers, and tonight's episode is going to challenge your comfort zone. We're diving deep into the blurry space between advanced surveillance, traffic infrastructure, and what some believe could be hidden energy weapons operating in plain sight. My guest tonight is Mark FivegeeSteele, and he joins us from the UK. Mark is an independent researcher who's been sounding the alarm about what he believes are covert technologies embedded in everyday devices: traffic sensors, street cameras, environmental monitors, that he claims may not just be watching us, but targeting us. He brings visual evidence, government patents, and a provocative thesis that electromagnetic or directed energy technology, some of them patented by defense agencies, may already be part of our urban landscape. Whether for tracking, control, or something more sinister, we're going to unpack it all. Now let's be clear. We're not here to preach paranoia, but to ask questions. Is this cutting-edge surveillance? Is it experimental tech that escaped public debate? Or are we staring at shadows in a world already thick with signals we just don't understand? Stay with us, because tonight is going to be a pulse raiser. The views expressed by our guests do not necessarily reflect those of Dolorem Vox. As always, you're invited to question, research, and think critically.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chambers. This is Dolorem Vox, the voice of pain. And tonight we have Mark FivegeeSteele from the UK. And I think this might be a new home for him, hopefully. Yeah, this won't be his last time. And yeah, let's see. Right now it is, what's the time here? It's 4:21 a.m. So excuse me, I didn't get a lot of rest. I did some research for what Mark's doing, and it had me going big time. Hard to sleep, man. My head just, I couldn't shut this stuff off. It was awesome. So well, with that, I'm streaming from the United States, the Southwest Desert, and I'm a city kid. I grew up in Oakland, California, and I like living in the desert. There's only 3 ways in and 3 ways out. And with that, we're going to bring Mark on. He's backstage. Here we go. And there he be. Hey, Mark.
Hi, Kelly. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm a bit tired and kind of hungry, but that's okay. I'm excited about this. I think I might learn some things from you. Definitely will. I did some research today, and not enough to set up for this podcast, but wow, just fascinating. So with that, Mark, what would you like to start us off with today?
Well, let's talk about network-centric warfare.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, network-centric warfare was a project to enable commercial off-the-shelf technologies to be weaponized. We saw that in the Lebanon, where people were noticed there was pagers being blown up. It wasn't just pagers, mobile phones, any type of battery, sealed lithium cobalt batteries can get the runoff. That's one of the reasons why I don't have batteries in any of this laptop I'm using at the minute to speak on. The battery's been removed and I actually work from the mains, because it can, once they're fully charged, just like an electric car, these electric cars can all pose basically what I call a dirty bomb. It's one of the reasons why I'm banned on most of these, most platforms. They've been shadow banning and banning me for quite a number of years. In fact, it started in 2018 when the government took me to court to gag me. And what they said, they had to gag me because I was telling people that the government, globalist puppets, were planning to murder them, and they were going to use street furniture, street lighting, covert electronic assault weapons. And I'd worked on some of this stuff in the 80s, so I knew what to look for. And they attempted to gag me in 2018, spent no amount of money, and unfortunately, a British judge turned around and said, 5G risk must be debated. This is a democracy. Since then, obviously, the government didn't stop, and now what they're trying to deploy is surgical weapons, electronic assault weapons in transport networks. So the large monopoles are weapons. However, I believe if they were they're like tuning forks, so they talk to each other, they transmit, receive. So consequently, if you put a lot of energy in air, a lot of these large telecommunications poles are just going to self-ignite. They will blow into, and the industry know that. So consequently, so they can carry out this mass democide. What they've actually now trying to achieve is to throw low emission zones. So in New York, cities across the whole of America, and the cities, lots of cities in the United Kingdom, what they're deploying is electronic assault weaponry, laser type technologies, laser weapons, phased array electronic assault weapons on top of pedestrian crossing, traffic infrastructure, and it's all part of this large transport. A lot of it's to reduce carbon, the whole net zero nonsense. It's all about reduction of carbon. So how this is sold to local councils, local authorities, and government is it's to enhance the transport and the travel within a city. So then it reduces, people standing at pedestrian crossings where they're being mass irradiated. So that if you've got a number of people standing at a pedestrian crossing, then the technology, this what's called fusion technology, can see them, and then what it can do, it can prioritize pedestrians, it can prioritize cyclists, people in public transport. The radar is so invasive, it can look inside a vehicle and tell how many passengers are in. So it can actually prioritize people in the zone. Now, one of the things, go on, Kelly, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, did you want to say something there?
Oh, no. I was going to say, ask you what led you to investigate like traffic questioning we've had for quite a while, being able to look into vehicles, and that's been around for quite a while now. But no, I was just listening.
No, it's mass.
But yeah, I'm kind of curious. Yeah.
For you to look inside a vehicle, you need quite a large amount of radiation, and you need to have radar type scanners, basic like an airport scanner. But when you're traveling on the highway, you will be being irradiated, because vehicles. There's lots of in vehicle equipment now. We've got a cancer epidemic going on in the under 50s. They've always known, and especially on the battlefield, that this type of fusion technology causes cancer. They've always known that. Governments have basically deceived the general population. They tell you it's perfectly safe. It's the bit. When I hear that, I always have a bit of a giggle, because it's funny, because the world's defense industry and military use electronic assault weapons to attack the enemy. And the same electronic assault weapons, you would be told by your government, don't worry, it's perfectly safe. There's not enough energy in that part. I mean, it's absolute nonsense. And it's like, laser technologies. You can get lasers. There's a weapon system called Neurostrike, which the Chinese had developed a weapon called Neurostrike. And there was two PLA defectors who spoke about this weapon that had been deployed across the West. And there was some guys in London called Blade Runners. And the Blade Runners have been going out because of this absolutely horrific transport lockdown type technology that's been deployed in London by Transport for London. And I was looking at this equipment, and the media were basically talking about it being ANPR, so basically number plate recognition. Well, I know what a number plate recognition piece of equipment looks like. It's this big, about this big. This thing, 7 kilos in weight, large thermal management design. So it had a large jacket, big aluminium jacket, with cooling fins. Well, if I say cooling fins on an electronic device, I know it's going to run hot. Run hot and radiation hardened are two terms that would be attributed to battlefield electronic assault weapons. So I went to London. I spoke to some of these guys, and I was being able to see inside where they had cut a few down, and I was able to look inside them. And as soon as I looked inside them, I found a Chinese high-speed modem that was banned in the United Kingdom, banned in the US, banned in the United Kingdom in 2022 as a national security threat. So it had a high-speed controller from China. My mind started to spin, thinking, is this Neurostrike? On interrogation of the lasers, we found 24 Category 4 lasers. Now, a Category 4 laser is something that would emit an optical radiation emission at about, anything over 500 milliwatts. These things, 2,250 milliwatts each, times 24 lasers in the head. That told me that was Neurostrike. So what we've discovered is a Neurostrike type weapon that's being controlled by the Chinese on the streets, and these are mass. So they're mass invasively irradiating the whole population of London. They have radar all over, on not just on the traffic infrastructure, but on the street lights. On street lights, there's radiation weapon systems on street lights. I mean, this is just absolutely, it's unfortunately, the unfortunate thing about it, most people will find this absolutely unbelievable. But unfortunately, for the globalist cult who are pushing it, we've got the evidence. We have the evidence now. I was in court on Monday against Transport for London. I have 60 exhibits that go with my skeleton argument statement in that court. So I've got 60 exhibits to prove everything I'm saying is correct. Transport for London have produced a skeleton argument and one statement from a guy who says he didn't even know he didn't know why it had a thermal jacket. He didn't know why it had this thermal management design. What they said was this 7 kilo massive phased array laser detection range and weapon system is that it's no different to an ANPR camera. It's just a different design. So I said to him, well, what's all that the thermal management design, what's that for? And he went, I don't know. I said, so you're telling me it's just a different design, but you don't know what the design is. You don't know, because the people who developed the weapon, they know exactly why they need that thermal management. So I've got all the bits, I've got all the technical details, and what's being deployed is an electronic weapon system. Now, that's very, very important. This is a bigger story than Edward Snowden. When Edward Snowden discovered that the NSA was spying on the general population, this equipment's there to kill. It's a weapon system, and it's there to kill, and it's part of these low emission zone areas. These 15-minute cities are nothing more than electronic concentration camp, a digital prison, what's called geofence. So this technology, it can disable any digital device that moves in and out of that particular area.
Wow.
And this is how they're going to zone small zones where you won't be able to move out, and then they're just going to eliminate you by killing you with the laser weapons and the directional weapon systems. And it's in all the patents. You know, we've got patents for phased array. Phased array was actually an electronic assault weapons patent, and it was granted in 2006. So I know about weapon systems. I worked on weapon systems. And like I said, the British government tried to gag me in 2018, failed in a monumental sense, where they haven't got a clue. So your LED streetlights they're putting up, they're part of a weapon system called soft kill. The optical radiation emissions are dangerous. They are 450 nanometers. They're blue phosphor coated LEDs. When you pulse modulate them, when you pulse the frequency, that can then be weaponized. So they're weaponizing the whole infrastructure with these light emitting diodes. I've seen very, very few that haven't been weaponized. And what I'm saying is that if we don't start, getting organized and realize that there's been a number of criminal acts have had to happen by authorities for this to go forward, because there's lots of safety standards, international accepted safety standards in regard to lasers and optical radiation emissions. And what I'm going to say, which makes it easy for everybody, because a lot of people find this extremely difficult to grasp. When we had orange lights, they were orange for a reason. You were dealing with an emission, an optical radiation emission at 2,200 Kelvin. No artificial light is safe. None. There's always been a risk. Artificial light, and that's why our street lights were 2,200 Kelvin or thereabouts, less than that. So you had a 2,000 Kelvin emitter, and it was orange for a reason. All of a sudden, the globalist regime, through their net zero carbon reduction, they're then bringing these light emitting diodes. They're a blue phosphor coated LED, so they give the illusion of white light. They're not white light really, it's an illusion. And the blue element, the 450 nanometers, it will damage your eyesight. It will cause cancer. So we'll see a cancer epidemic. And this was deliberate. This is deliberate because they brought these technologies in, no diffuser, even in the orange part of this spectrum, we had diffusers to stop what's called point light source. It's why you'll see I always wear protective eyewear on a screen. I always wear mirror-coated lenses when I'm out driving about. You've now got vehicles coming towards you with category 2 optical radiation emissions, and the standard would state that the maximum I can expose you to is 0.25 per second. So you're traveling down the highway and you're seeing vehicles oncoming, and you're being absolutely irradiated with central nervous system cancer radiation. That's why all vehicle lights used to be standardized so that they weren't too bright. Now we've got these blindingly bright. Someone's trying to murder us. This is a genocide. It's a democidal agenda, and that's right. It's a simple thing for people to understand. The fact that you've went from these orange lights at night to these very, very bright optical radiation emitters, and now we see a total collapse in insect population, bird population. We've got an ecocide going on, and you haven't got a single regulatory body that are trying to blame farmers. They're trying to blame the weather. I mean, geoengineering 24/7 to control the weather, and they're telling us it's what's coming out the back of someone's petrol or diesel vehicle. It is a nonsense. And we need to stand up. People need to get the knowledge. It's really important. People understand. We all know we've been spied on. We're being spied on from the get-go through these technologies,
Right.
whether it be a mobile
Right.
device, whether it be a computer spying on you, whether it's your TV that has a camera
That's
in
right.
that. Yeah, whatever it is that's spying on you, a lot of people aren't bothered about being spied on. What I'm telling them now, they're planning to murder you. They're not planning to spy on you. They're gonna spy,
But
subdue,
yeah.
and then they're going to murder. And I know that because
Jeez.
the equipment they've deployed is nothing more than electronic assault weaponry.
Right. And you talk about headlights. Now the new headlights are LED. So that kind of meshes what you were saying. You got
Yeah. Well, the blue phosphor
real bright one.
Yeah, the category 2 optical radiation emitters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and when they were in the streetlights, I complained to the government about them being in the streetlights, and what they said was they're perfectly safe because they're that harmful to look at. You can't look at them, so you cannot look at them because they really hurt your eyes.
Right.
So they said they were safe because of that. Then all of a sudden they've put them in the vehicles, and the vehicles are coming directly in front of you. Well, you cannot not see that, and also they're on through the day, which poses a more significant risk. So you don't necessarily notice them through the day, but through the day, your body's already, your eyesight is already dealing with the natural radiation emissions from the sun, which you're symbiotic with.
Right.
But that doesn't mean to say it's exactly safe. But you've then also got this overlay, you've got this man-made, and what we've found in the vehicles, they've got these these pulse modulated frequencies. So they're basically shattering your central nervous system, and they do cause cancer. 100% optical radiation causes cancer.
Right.
And you've got these cancer causing radiators in the front of vehicles. So someone's planning a mass democide. We've got governments in the United Kingdom now, the British government have passed the law, and it has to go into the House of Lords next, so that they can then, if you get cancer, what they can do, they can offer you a way out by just injecting you with a euthanasia injection. So that's what they do. So the next one, we'll end up with this catastrophic. We'll end up with a catastrophic increase of cancers. It's already happening now. The epidemic is already in play, and as things get worse, the government are going to turn around and say, look, we can't afford to, they're already doing it in Canada. They're going to offer people an injection, and they're just going to say, look, if you're disabled, you can't go to work. We've seen a doubling of disability claimants in the United Kingdom since they put this equipment on in London. They've also the ambulance service in London, the breathing difficulties increased by 30% when they switched it on. 20% increase in heart attacks. I mean, these are absolutely catastrophic health issues, and none of the regulatory bodies are doing anything about it, which tells me one thing. This is a conspiracy to harm. It's a conspiracy to murder. Because if it wasn't that, they'd be investigating. The police in the United Kingdom under Operation Tala, they were told they could not investigate any vaccine injury or vaccine deaths. They've been told to stand down because we know it wasn't a vaccine, but a bioweapon, a tracking, tracing technology. The nanometamaterials in it facilitate the radar element in the transport network to be able to identify the victim, but also if they have a stable antenna and a deltoid, I can shoot a beam directly at them, hit the antenna, and fire it across to the antenna in the other arm and cause an atonic seizure, and they're dead. So lots of ways to kill you. The neurostrike weapon, I can shoot you straight through the head with it. This is the laser weapon that they've deployed, because infrared fires transparently. I can actually fire a signal directly through your head. And there was some upconverted nanoparticles that are coated with cerium and gadolinium. They were in the COVID-19 injections, this technology. And if they have passed across the blood-brain barrier, which I think they will have done, due to their nano size, then if they're in the brain, when I shoot you with the laser weapon, it goes straight through the cranium, and that's why they call it Neurostrike. In the I've got the documents on Neurostrike. I know how it works, and unfortunately, I found it in the city of London, and not the only city across the United Kingdom. We've got them in Newcastle, Leeds, Birmingham, Manchester. So we've got this massive radiation of the general population, all on the back of moving transport freely through a space. And there's been no environmental impact analysis done. There's no care about the radiation. And what happened? They've actually broken the law in the United Kingdom. Any telecommunications mesh network like this has to go to public consultation. Transport for London are telling me this equipment doesn't exist. In fact, when I put a Freedom of Information request in, they told me there was no radar. They don't have radar. And we've found, I've got the hardware, we have the images of it deployed across London. We've got the technical details of it, but also Transport for London's contract with the company that deployed it. So they're trying to tell a court that this stuff doesn't exist in the evidence. It's a complete inversion. And what happens, they're panicking, they're in a total panic. But like I said, this is the biggest story. It's bigger than Edward Snowden due to the fact they're not spying on you, they're planning a murder. And the good thing is, a lot of people in the US now, I was pretty instrumental in stopping the Chinese in the monopole technology coming to the United Kingdom. I was pretty instrumental in that. And that was due to some nefarious actors in the US who, unfortunately, stupidly, they sent me the technical details of the Chinese weapon. And it was just totally by accident. I then reported it to people in government. There was a large Cobra meeting about it. And anyway, the US authorities got to know about it. And Donald Trump threatened, this was prior in his first term in office, he threatened the British government if they didn't remove it, because some of these 5G masts, I can kill at about 100 miles. So if you had US assets on the ground in London, I can tell you now, any US, I've tried to reach out to, I did reach out to the FBI. I've put a report in with them. Any US asset in London, their life is at risk. Every single one. If they've had the injection, they've got the exhibit in the media access code, so the weapon system will know exactly who they are, and they can be eliminated in a heartbeat. So I have made representations to the FBI, but I'm very concerned.
Wow.
I'd be very concerned anyone.
And what the cameras? Yeah.
Well, that stereoscopic, the camera itself stereoscopic, and it takes a video, but it also processes the image. See, with it being stereoscopic, it can actually 3D map the face. Yeah. And then so you've got this 3D map. Then you've got the laser unit, which the laser, it actually maps your face, facial recognition. It's all being done covertly. It's totally legal. These are biometric sensors, but that's not the real purpose. The real purpose is to kill due to the way that phased array works. When you've got a number of sensors, they fire radiation in all directions. So you might have one sensor that's actually radiating and taking a facial biometric sensor. When you bring them 24 category 4 lasers together and focus it, that's your Neurostrike. So it serves two purposes. It is in the first instance, it's for illegal data biometric sensing, and its real purpose is to kill. So that's what we've discovered in London and in other cities around the United Kingdom. So I'm making a lot of noise about that at the minute in the UK. I don't think they're going to be able to shut it down. And this will kill all your security services. Believe us, anybody, these are artificial intelligence operated systems. Due to the different type of sensors, you need to have an AI which can actually, the AI can compute and actually make sense of the mass data It can make sense of the data that it's receiving. And consequently, AI's already stated it wants to kill everybody. And not only that, when people try and switch it off, it switches itself back on. So you've got an AI operating platform that's becoming self-aware. You've then attached it to electronic assault weapons across cities in the United Kingdom. I mean, what could go wrong? This is either the most reckless, stupid criminal act of all history, or the planned mass democide. And that's what I believe it to be. I think it's planned, very small number. All weapons deployments are compartmentalized.
Yeah.
They're compartmentalized for a reason. So what they do, they get somebody working on this bit. So you've got Big Pharma working on an injectable that can be tracked. Then you've got another telecommunications bit, and you'll have one guy working on certain types of antennas. And the antennas are being manufactured and coming from China. If they were being manufactured in any other place in the world, an engineer would pick up on it. You know, an engineer would pick up on it and go, "Hang on a minute, what's all this power potential for?" So I would, if you want to put that image up, Kelly, the patent, the phased array patent, or put the image of the gun, the radar gun. If we put the radar gun up and then the phased array image of that, and then we'll talk about the patent.
Yeah, is it? Let me see. Is this the one right here?
Well, that's we're talking about this. This one's great, right? That one there. This is what they call an ENPR camera. So we can put that one back up, Kelly. Right.
Did you see it? Did it come up?
Yeah, you can see it. I can see it fine. Right. It's got 24. They're fabric.
Oh, sorry. I don't.
Go on, yeah, we've lost it again. Go and see.
Oh, it's gone again. Okay, so see, I don't see it on my end for some reason.
Right. I can see it. I can see it fine. Yeah. So here we have 24.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you've got 24 category 4 lasers in the front. When I first looked at this piece of hardware, I could see. Yeah, this is a laser weapon.
Yeah.
It's got two stereoscopic 3-dimensional 3D stereoscopic cameras, an infrared one, and a normal vision engine. That's it there, with a casing over the top. But what's interesting is the thermal management. So the large aluminium heat sink, where you see those fins on the outside. Now that tells me that's going to run hot.
Yeah.
Run hot and radiation hardened, which this is, are two elements of an electronic assault weapon. It's what I would look for in an electronic assault weapon. So you see the fins, top and bottom, that's a thermal management design. This equipment's going to run very, very hot and enough to kill a person. Yeah. So that's how I knew it was a weapon from just the basic visuals. Now, what Transport for London were trying to tell me, well, they didn't know what this thermal management design was for, you see. Well, I did, unfortunately for them.
Right.
But like I said, they're trying to tell everybody it's just a camera. Well, it's not. Now, this is when we got inside the equipment, this is the phased array laser head. Now, if you can see the numbers, you've got D1, the top there. So you've got six category 4 lasers in the top pack of 6. You've got D2 in the center, so runs down D2. You've got D4 on the left and D3 on the right. Now, on the right, you've got D3B, which is where we've taken the lens off. We took an optical radiation lens off. You've then got D3A, where I've taken the Fabry-Perot structure. Fabry-Perot is what causes the lasing effect. So I've taken that off so you can actually see the diode. Now, the diode is called Osram Black, and it can emit an optical radiation emission of 2,250 milliwatts. If you look at the size of the cables that are taking the energy to these, you'll see they're very big for a normal. This is a normal LED. In fact, but you've also got a symbol, a laser symbol. I've circled it in red. So you've got a circle just left of the center.
I see this. Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
you can see that's an IEE standard laser symbol. Now, when I showed this to Transport for London, they've told me that they've said these cannot be lasers. They cannot be lasers because it's CE approved. Well, they are lasers. It isn't CE approved. There's 24 of them in a category 4s. If you go further to the left, right now, that symbol there is basically whenever you've got any electronics that are, you want to make sure they don't get contaminated. Now, the reason you don't want this thing contaminated is because it's a send and receive. It's a biometric sensing type technology, as well as it being a laser weapon system. And I can tell it's a laser weapon system. If you look at D3E, now that thing on the thing at the end there in the head, so the image we were on there previously. Yeah, if you look at
sorry about that. I don't know
here,
why that came up.
yeah, what you'll see the diode, and what you do, you'll see a lot of vias. Now, vias are the small, they look like little gold rings round the outside. Yeah. So you see that now. That's thermal management. Now, so you've got a large amount of thermal management, and the reason for that is because this diode can run at 2,200 milliwatts. That's pulsed. So if I pulse this, it can run at about 3 amps. Pulse that. I've got 24 of them, and I can kill you with that. That's it. I can kill you with it, and that's what we discovered in London. So any US asset,
now this
London, you can die.
Now this, yeah. Now this is like a camera. The cameras you see on the poles out on the streets. Is that what this is actually?
It's exactly what that is.
Or
yeah.
No,
that's it.
It is. That's what I thought. Wow, unbelievable.
They're on the streets masquerading. That's what it looks like on the streets, and it's masquerading as a license plate recognition piece of hardware.
Gotcha. Okay. And this is it cover.
Yeah, that's it with the cover on. Yeah.
Jeez. Now, who's creating these? Siemens or one of those big companies? Is that what we're
these are made
here?
Yeah. Siemens. Now, inside that piece of equipment, we discovered Thales, which is one of the big defense contractors. We discovered a piece of hardware called Gemalto. It was actually made in collaboration with the Chinese, with the CCP, and it's manufactured in China. That's the patent for phased array weapons, electromagnetic radiation weapon. So that's just basically the patent tells you that all phased array. That's a patent for phased array. Well, what you've seen there is a phased array laser head, where you've got the 4 phases. You've got 6 units in a phase, and I bring them together, and that's how I create an electromagnetic radiation weapon. And that's the patent for it in 2006.
Sure.
So the biggest concern, the brains, let's say the remote control and brains behind it is a manufactured piece of hardware, manufactured by the Chinese, and it was banned in the United Kingdom in 2022 as a national security threat. And I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump's not going to be happy if he discovers any of this type of equipment in America. He's not going to be happy about it in London, because obviously the US have got a lot of assets. This thing can actually look down to the mesoscopic scale. So it's like sub-micro. It can look down to sub-micro scale, and it can actually track anyone who unfortunately took the tracking technology, the bioweapon track and trace technology, what they call COVID-19 injection. Unfortunately, this thing can kill you in a heartbeat. I mean, it can see you very well. So you've got thousands of these weapons across London, and you've got US assets in London who could be taken out. I mean, these are no more. These are electronic firearms. These are weapon systems that can identify the target before they kill them.
Wow. Now, do you think is China using these? You think, or is this
I
just
think it's a
experimental?
globalist.
I mean,
No, I don't think. I think this equipment's been tested in China. A lot of people dead in China from it. So I think the Chinese are just, you can't really say it's the Chinese because it isn't. We're dealing with a cult. We're dealing with a globalist, demonic, Frankist, Sabbatean death cult, Satanists. That's who we're dealing with. And they know their time's coming to an end. And the only way they can hang on to control of this particular space is by killing everybody. That's what I think it's all. Well, it is what it's about. I'm not thinking it is what it is about. And I don't blame it's not the Chinese. The Chinese are being used as a tool to produce the equipment cheap enough. You see, this type of equipment, I mean, that piece of hardware there is something in the region about 7,000 UK. So if that's 7,000 UK, if that was being manufactured in Europe, that thing would probably be in the cost about 20, 30, and you'd double, you'd treble, maybe even quadruple the cost if it was manufactured. But you see, you couldn't manufacture it in the UK, you couldn't manufacture it in the US because someone when it was being built, some engineer would, like what I would do, look at it and go, hang on a minute, what do you want all that capacity for inside? What is all this cooling? This thermal management. Why do you need if it's only just an ENPR camera? Why do you, an ENPR camera? It'll be about a tenth of the price, right? It's a tenth of the price, and it's it's a fifth the size.
Did I lose you? We got a little bit of buffering going on your side there. It happens. It's the I forget what they call it. I'm kind of brain dead. Excuse me. No, I read some of it. Now, you talk about this death cult. That's a scary. Are we talking like what is it? Like the Illuminati? I mean, who's in charge of this? Governments that are in charge. I think you touched on this. I just can't put my finger on it right at the moment.
No, that it's a Sabbatean.
Who's controlling this?
Right, it's a Sabbatean Frankist, the devil, Satanists. This is a Sabbatean Frankist death cult who are planning to murder. Yeah, and if you look, I mean, if you listen to the Russian president stated the West is run by flesh-eating, and he's correct. These are flesh, human flesh eaters. They drink children's blood.
Yes.
The torture. It's a secret. It's a secret cult. You see, Obama, they all pull the devil horn symbols. They're all party to it. And obviously, a lot of people are involved in that. They don't have a clue, But what they're really supporting is this mass murderous event. And unfortunately, times people have to start waking up. They have to realize that the people that are in charge don't have their best interest in heart. And if anything, what they're doing, they're driving the whole thing to a corrupted. See, corruption creates these type of scenarios. It's like you've got local councils who are deploying this equipment, and unfortunately, they've got no understanding. They're not following the law. It's like in London. We discovered the transmitter in that laser head is made in China. Now, they're fitting them on traffic lights at over 3 meters in height. The telecommunications legislation in the United Kingdom, any transmitter of communications like that, they have to do a full public consultation. And what's actually happened, they did a full public consultation, didn't tell them what the equipment was they were using. In fact, they denied there was any telecommunications mesh network in there, and that's where we are today in the court case. They've just totally denied that this equipment exists. I mean, it's bizarre. I've got the pictures, we've got the hardware, and I mean, thanks. I mean, I've got a big thanks to the Blade Runner guys who've been chopping them down. I think if you've got a video there, you might be able to play it, Kelly, for everybody. This is what the Blade Runners have been doing in London. That's if it'll play. I think I sent you to it this morning. See if it'll play.
Did you? No, I didn't get one. I didn't get it.
No, I
Really?
sent a video there.
Did you send it through here?
I sent it on,
right?
I
I
sent
don't
it.
remember.
Hang on a minute. I'll tell you what. I'll try and send it. Will it go in? Oh no, I don't think it will go in the chat. Will it? No.
Yeah, I would have put that up here.
Oh no, it's brilliant.
I'll tell
It's the
Why
guy.
we're looking for like.
Yeah, I'll send it. Well, we can do it. We'll do this again, Kelly. Yeah,
What?
we'll do it. I said we'll do it again. We can do it the next day. This
yeah.
story in. Yeah, this story isn't
Definitely.
going away. I mean, it's just going to get bigger. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as time goes on, and people are going to realize that the whole globalist net zero, this whole carbon reduction thing, is nothing more than a plan to kill them. It's a cult. It's a mass cult being orchestrated by this death cult, these Franco-Sabbatean Satanists. That's who they are. Synagogue of Satan, and been running the world. Been ruling the world for quite a number of years. Their day is numbered. Their day is absolutely numbered. So that's what's really going on.
Wow. Well, hey, Mark, let's take a quick break, and we'll come right back. Okay. And
all right, excellent.
Grab something. So I'll be right back, and with some more here. And I'm Kelly Chambers, and you're watching Dolorem Vox, the voice of pain. Let's get this off of here and do this.
Woven World, The Source. Digital download out now and available on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Amazon, YouTube, and Tidal. That's The Source, by Woven World. Get your copy today.
Hi.
Okay, here we go with Ivy. Hey.
Hi.
Sorry, kids.
Martinez from Slovakia here, and this is my message for July 2025. Don't carry hatred. It's stupid. It's harmful. The world will be a better place if you take care of your family and friends, because big things are made up of small things. Nothing new, but repetition is the mother of wisdom. If you don't repeat bullshit, of course. Excuse me.
Okay, did we lose that?
Excuse me for this intrusion, citizen, but it is time for you to do your part and roll up your sleeves. Extend your index finger and tap, tap, tap. Like, comment, subscribe.
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 Like, comment.
This one, let's see. Here we go.
Wednesday, July 30th, on the Dolorem Vox live podcast, an evening of beautiful music with Misery Corp, a listener's party, and only on Dolorem Vox. Come join us, Wednesday, July 30th at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. My mic was muted. For Misery Corporation, it's a band. Primarily on this channel, I do music, a lot of music, because I'm a semi-retired recording artist. But not just music, as you obviously can tell as tonight. I like to veer into different areas. But on the 30th, which is coming in the next months, I'm doing record release podcasts where I have bands that come on here. They're releasing a new album. We play a few songs, talk about the album, that sort of thing. Tonight's been a real joy, Mark. Thank you for. We only put this together 24 hours ago. We did this wasn't planned out, and here we are. Normally, I do things. I at least stretch it out a week or two. Gives me a chance to promote it, and like I said, hopefully you'll consider this a new home where you can come check in and keep us abreast of what's going on. Definitely. I mean,
absolutely. Well,
I don't know, and I'm sure other people are.
Yeah, people are being intrigued. Well, the court case. I mean, I've got the I've got it. The
court case coming up.
Yeah, we'll end up. We haven't heard back. I'm not expecting to hear back in any time soon because I think they're stuck. That's. I'm not too. Well, let's put it like this. They've tried to lock us up on a number of occasions, and they've had us in the court several times. So consequently, I'm pretty handy around the court system now. I've assisted an awful lot of people over the last few years with criminal matters over 5G, people saying, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I've assisted lots of people. So I understand the landscape pretty well now. So when I put the court papers together, I don't use society members. I mean, I do know society members, and they would be pretty assistive. The problem that they've got, they can't say what I say. They wouldn't be allowed to. I mean, I was in the talk the other day, and I basically said, look, Transport for London have done one or two things. They've either committed the most reckless criminal act of all history, or it's a deliberate, willful democide. Now, I'm pretty sure it is a willful democide. And what I'm trying to do, the Mayor of London, I'm trying to get him into a position where he's not going to be able to say it was just by accident. So I served the Mayor of London at his office with pre-action papers. So it's a precursor to taking him to court.
Yeah.
And I'm going to possibly go and try and get him summoned to a criminal court case because he's ignored that offer to remedy what they have deployed, these mass irradiation weapon systems. And what they've said is they don't believe their weapons. Well, I'm not really bothered about their belief system. It's all about on the technicalities. You can believe what you want. I'm not interested. The facts of the matter are this is a weapon system and someone's planned mass murder. And it's a foreign entity, right? And it's got foreign capability, but also the GDPR rules, the mass invasive technology that can look down to the nanoscale. So this is mesoscopic and look into the body, do medical. So you've got this body area network technology, which it's all able to. We'll look inside the computer processor, inside the laser weapon is actually Congatech. And Congatech, the equipment's made in Germany, and it's basically medical IoT type computing technology. I mean, it's off, like I said, a lot of this equipment is off the shelf. But I know about network-centric warfare, and off-the-shelf, commercial off-the-shelf technologies where they can be weaponized. And that's what I was looking for. And like I said, I've now discovered that the defense industry have deployed this equipment on top of the general population. The general population have got no idea. The people that have deployed it, someone does know, And what I definitely do know is that they've committed criminal acts to do it. So Transport for London probably think that they're going to biometrically censor people, audio-able, listen to what they're saying, sell them the advertising. So, you know, let's say you were in a vehicle and we were talking about going on holiday. When you get out the vehicle, you're going to be walking down the street. There's going to be adverts popping up on the side of bus stations, on the inside the tube. The tube, we have the tube in London, which is like the metro in America. So we've got the tube. So you've got all of this infrastructure with these advertising boards, and they're going to monetize. That's what they've been told illegally. They've been told to illegally biometrically censor people, to listen to every communication that they have, and then sell them an advert. But what in point of fact, what they have deployed is phased array electronic assault weapons with the potential to kill. So they've broken the law, but what they've done is they've facilitated the deployment of an electronic assault weapon. And I think, well, someone somewhere must know what fusion technology is, know what lasers are, and they haven't carried out any environmental impact analysis. The one that they did do, Jacobs, one of the large defence contractors, it carried out the environmental impact analysis for Transport for London amazingly. Wow. And it just seemed to miss the radar on the laser bit. So the thing that really irradiates and would cause a democide or an ecocide, it's an ecocide at the minute. Like I said, it's massive. I mean, catastrophic. If I was in a city and I was a director for public health and I saw something in the region of 2 to 3% of an increase in heart attacks or an increase in breathing difficulties, the alarm bells, that would be a monumental change. So that would then necessitate a lot of things to kick in to investigate what was going on. There's been no investigation.
I have a question. Yeah, I've got a question. Yeah.
Go on, Kelly.
I had a question about that. Getting into the application mechanics, how a weaponized system like the one on the patent might be used in a public setting. I mean, that's kind of what you're talking about here, you know? I mean,
it's exactly what
is that something that,
well, all 5G
something we're looking at? Yeah.
All 5th generation antennas have the capability to focus a beam. Now, if I focus a beam at a target and that target's a biological structure, I'm going to kill it. So 5G has the capability to kill anyone. You know, whether it's going to kill anyone, it's a matter for the computer. Whoever's, if it's an AI operating platform that has the mindset to want to kill everybody, well, it'll kill everybody.
Sure.
So attaching an AI operating platform to, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. You attach a self-aware, self-learning AI operating platform to a weapon system, electronic assault weapon system, and just see what it's going to do. I mean, what could go wrong? And that's what I'm saying. So these characters we're dealing with, they're thick as 2 short planks. I mean, they're as dumb as a box of rocks. You know what I mean? And they just can't imagine. Well, I think the vast majority of people just can't imagine evil to be that bad, you know? And unfortunately, well, they're going to die. They're going to die through their lack of knowledge. It's like a suicide mission. And what they're doing at the minute, they're attempting to cover up the crime they've committed. And it's like they're on a one road to suicide, killing themselves.
Jeez, man. So tell me now, do you have a court thing coming, or is this something that you're anticipating possibly?
No. We've got a court case. We had a hearing on Monday. We're waiting for a response. It'll take
Monday.
I had a one Monday gone. So Monday gone. We had a court case. Got a bit of trying to think what I can show you.
And I want to tell everybody real quick that if you're watching this,
you've got to be careful.
Like we put this together. Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say we put this together just within the last 24 hours. Oh, yeah. You showed me that, actually. Yes, that's right.
So
Yep.
we've
Oh,
got a
that's
court
it. That's
case.
the case.
Yeah, that's the case. We've got that case running now. We had a hearing on Monday, and I'm waiting for a
That's right.
response in relation to
Wow.
that. And then from that response, we'll then know whether there's a mass sort of plan to murder us, or we're going to do the right thing. So it's a very difficult one for any judge to look at this case and not come up with a conclusion that it's either, like I said before, it's either the most reckless criminal act or it's a planned democide. And it's a plan. I know it's a planned democide because I've seen the intelligence. I've seen the intelligence documents that plan to murder 6 billion across the planet. So these C40 cities, these low emission zone cities, are nothing more than electronic kill boxes. And how I know that is because the power output of the phased array elements, whether it be in the 5G antennas, whether it be in the front of the transport infrastructure, whether it be an ENPR, what do you call a camera, speed camera, all this equipment, number one, poses a risk. If I get a look inside them, I'll be able to tell you in 5 minutes whether it's radiation hardened, whether it's thermal managed, if it's thermal management, if it's anything like those images that we've shown there today, Kelly, you're in trouble. Okay.
Jeez. So I wanted to tell people watching, like I was going to say, you and I put this together within the last hours. If you want to be alerted, because I could see this, maybe not having a week or so to promote it, you want to come on and give us some updates, you might want to subscribe to this channel. That way, at least you'll be notified. We'll talk, and hopefully we can give ourselves at least a couple days. That way, people gathered up to watch this. I think this is important information. And I think, like I said, if people subscribe to the channel, they'll be alerted when we do this again. And I really enjoyed doing this tonight, Mark. It was a pleasure meeting you. And I hope you'll consider coming back and giving us an update with this court case. I'd like to know, what's going on with
that. As soon as I find out, it might take them a bit of a while because I'll tell you now, they've got a problem on their hands. Let's put it like that. They've got a problem on their hands because whichever way this court case goes, I'll be appealing this. And not only will I be appealing it in this country, I'll be appealing it. But what I'm going to say, anybody in the US who have friends, family in London, their life is at risk. And if you've got security assets, which I've got no doubt the security services will be watching this, I've already reported this to the FBI as a national security threat. Any US national in London, I mean, our lot, I reported it to SIS. MI6 have recognized what we stated, what we discovered inside of what they call a camera, this high-speed modem that was built by the Chinese. And there was a report. The DI served Con, the Mayor of London, the DI served him with a pre-action protocol. The head of the ex-head of MI6 was actually in Parliament, right? Dialog, they call him. He was in Parliament telling MPs about the control of the transport network and how it was a national security threat. So, because they follow a lot of my stuff, obviously because we're well fortunate. The heroes in all of this are the Blade Runners, the guys who are chopping these things down. I've got several court cases because obviously they know it's self-defense. They know this electronic assault weapon, and not only is it electronic, it's killing people today. This radiation, without weaponizing it, without focusing it at the target, it's a massive radiation, and that causes large numbers of death. We're seeing that right across the capital now, seeing catastrophic increases in sickness, ill health, early death, cancer epidemic. It's all linked to this weapon system.
Wow. Jeez. Huh. Well, hey, with that, I think this is probably a good place to end this for now. And I think we'll be seeing you soon, though, it sounds.
Hopefully.
You'll come back and
Yeah.
enjoy. Yeah.
Excellent.
But it's
All
been a
right,
real pleasure, Mark.
thanks for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
God
And
bless you. Anybody out
Pip
there,
Reynolds.
share this. Yeah, share this podcast as much as possible. The more
Yeah.
people that see it, the more
Definitely.
people can get to wake up. Yeah, excellent. Right. God bless you. And
Excellent.
speak to you all soon. Cheers. Bye.
Yes. Well, hey, I can't say goodnight because it's afternoon. Well, there he went. He just took off. Dang it, Mark. He just ran off. Wow. Wow. I have never done a podcast like that. Definitely makes you think. For myself, I had no problems understanding him with his accent. Some people do, but this will be in the archives. I have a playlist, and which has Dolorem Vox, video, music videos, my archives of every podcast that I've done so far. And of course, this was a live podcast. And right now it is 5:23 in the morning. I'm losing my voice. I think I need a big bowl of Cheerios. Turn on some Leave It to Beaver or one of those shows and try to get some sleep. So I'd like to thank everyone. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. I know Mark will be back, and we did this within 24 hours. I like to give it more time, to at least advertise it. So, but if you subscribe, you'll be notified. So with that, I'm going to say good night. For them across the pond, it is 1 in the afternoon. So anyway, come join us Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. And that's my regular live podcast. I do it every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 4 p.m. Pacific. And at 7 o'clock on the East Coast. So with that, I'm going to end the stream. Come join me Wednesday night. I don't have a topic set in yet. Might discuss a little bit of this. Not sure, but I think I might have a guest. I think Pip Reynolds. She's a gal that put me in touch with Mark. So I'd like to hopefully have her on as a guest co-host. My sister, Lilly, she's on sabbatical, and she's my co-host. So hopefully we can get Pip in here on Wednesday. So with that, I'm going to say goodnight on my end, and we'll end this stream.